Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Y'all, I'm sitting in this parking deck right now. So you probably can't see me that well. And I just wanted to take some time to talk to y'all out here. I'm about to go in the store in a second. But before I go in the store, I wanted to deliver a message to y'all. I hope you can hear me okay. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. Heute ist Sonntag, everyone. It is approximately 90, it got up to 93 degrees where I've been earlier. So it's pretty hot today. Right now, this tells me that it's 84 degrees, but y'all, it's been pretty hot. So I'm wearing my beautiful dress. I might take some footage for y'all later. I brought my drone with me as well. But the title of this video is called You Don't Have to Suffer in Silence. What do I mean by that? What I mean by this is yesterday, I had an open house, and as I pulled up to the open house, I saw one of my fellow colleagues there. She was leaving, and as I was coming there to host the open house, we started talking out in the Hey Fox Galaxy. We started talking, and thank you for the like. We started talking in the driveway. And the conversation went like this. She said she was on her way to go visit her mother in West Virginia. And I said, well, at least you have the flexibility to do that. You know what I mean? You have the flexibility to go and visit your mother at your own discretion. And I started telling her because, I'm trying not to have to go back to the corporate arena. I said, I've been through so much you wouldn't even believe. And that's what sparked the conversation. She was like, girl, me too. And she's a little bit older than me, but we had a really long conversation. We started talking out there until we had a visitor. That's how long we stayed out there talking, exchanging stories. And it's so funny to me that you don't really know what a person is going through until you start talking to them about something that you have been through, and then they start sharing what they've been through. So that's why I said that happy Sunday, Danielle Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Your mentor is live. And you're here. Imran Mingal, how are you today? So that's why I said I don't want people to feel like you have to go out here and suffer in silence, y'all. People hold so much in. People hold a lot of things in that we don't know what's going on with them. And they feel that they have to act normal in a world that's abnormal, because right now the world is not normal, y'all. And for people to have to go around here and fake like they're okay, and it's not healthy for us. We shouldn't have to fake like we're okay. We should be able to talk to someone. And, I had seen her at a lot of our Monday meetings that we would have at the office, but never did we really have a full fledged conversation. So by the time we ended up talking, hi, are you Shyam Babu? How are you? Singh. By the time we finished talking, Mitu, how are you? By the time we finished talking, she was like, let me get your number. She said, you don't have any of my cards. So we exchanged information. She told me to give her my number, and I did. And, Skygmar, how are you? Where am I from? I am from this land of America. What's the topic here? The topic is you don't have to suffer in silence. And I was just giving um, an explanation of that because I was talking to one of my fellow colleagues yesterday in the driveway as we departed ways. We had to host an open house. She was leaving and I was coming, and I just blew the horn at her, and she turned around and she recognized who I was, and we started talking. Let me see what you said. Hold on, I gotta turn this light on, y'all. I've been doing that too. And one time I released my feelings, I got brushed off and be called selfish. Suffer in silence in a relationship, not really a relationship. I'm talking about in general, but even if you are in a relationship, I don't think you should have to suffer in silence, y'all, because here's the thing. You can be in a relationship and still feel alone because that person does not value you. That person may not actually take your feelings into consideration, or that person, might, like you said, brush your feelings off. And if that person continues to do that, that person doesn't really care, you know, and that's not a good way to feel. You should not be mistreated. You should not have to feel like your feelings don't matter. Your feelings do matter. And I think here, a lot of times in this world, people feel like, why even say anything? Why even, hey, JT Katora, why even say anything because people don't care? Please take off your glasses. Who has on glasses, Sophia? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So sometimes people don't talk about it, but a lot of people, they suffer in silence. They go through things and they don't talk about it. They feel like they don't have anybody to not so much vent to, but talk to that will understand them. Sometimes people try to minimize what you're going through, and it's not okay. Sophia Kind, you take off your glasses because I'm not wearing any. Kaluminati said, "Hey, beautiful. Hi. Love your voice. Thank you." Did I say your name right? Yeah, Kaluminati, I did. How am I, Ghost? I'm doing all right. Sophia, I need you to please disappear from the stream, y'all. So I'm going to remove you and please don't come back, okay? Sophia, I do wear glasses. However, I don't have them on. So since you act like you can't see, you can leave the stream. Somebody said, "Help, please help." Well, player, you know what? Hopefully you can get some help. Yeah, we have an ambulance going by. That is so funny. You just said, "Please help," and the ambulance just went by. Did y'all hear that? Player, I hope you're not dying. So stop coming on here playing around. And if you feel like you're dying, you probably need to go get some real help from somewhere else. You know, do you need prayer? This is last stream. Okay, well, player, I'm so sorry that you feel that you're dying. I'm going to remove you too. What are you wearing instead of glasses right now? Sophia, I told you to leave. And now I'm going to hide you from the channel so you can't come back. Okay. All right. This is not playtime. It's not a game. That's right. But you know, like people come in here because they want attention and maybe they don't get enough of that in their own lives. So we just have to ignore that. But for the people who have, you know, real understanding, this is the channel of substance. It's not a channel of ignorance over here, and I'm not going to tolerate it. It's not cool to act like you're dying. That's not okay. Well, I'm not even going to embrace or take on that energy. So they can go ahead. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you what we were talking about, and this does affect a lot of people. So some people probably going to want to leave the live stream right now because you don't want to hear it, and I don't care. But I'm going to talk about my experience. I'm going to talk about her experience, and a lot of people that I've come into contact with. That's something to be taken seriously. You said you're going to heaven in a year, player. If that is the case, then you need to talk to God or whoever you believe in about that, okay? So I'm going to put you in timeout because you are trying to distract what I'm talking about. All right? If that is true, then I'm sorry. I hope things work out for you. All right? Well, he's been put in timeout for 24 hours, so he can't come back in here. So anyway, getting along with what I was talking about, when she said that she was going to visit her mother is 85 years old, you all. And, you know, 85 years old is definitely a blessing to still be here on earth. So I can definitely understand why she would go visit her mother. So I'm grateful that she has the flexibility to do that because what I was explaining is that when, you're on a job and you have to get permission, a lot of times you can't just go visit your relatives or your family members at your own discretion because you have to take time off, you have to take leave, you have to plan it out. And she did disclose to me that, if she does have to work again, which she's trying not to have to work again, she would tell them, if her mother calls, she's going to drop everything and she's going to be there. And I don't blame her, you all. And so, what I'm saying about suffering in silence is this: she used to be a manager at a company, and she was saying that she worked for a bank and her entire department was meeting their metrics. Out of the entire team, out of the entire department, her team was meeting their metrics. Lo and behold, they switched management. So this is where all of the antics came into play. And this is what a lot of people go through in the corporate arena, especially if you're a melanated female. So, like I said, people are not going to want to hear this. The stream is not for everybody. Everybody cannot relate. But for the people that can, this is who I'm talking to. I feel like we should not have to suffer in silence and we should be able to talk about it. You said, even though some of my family brush me off when I'm down, I still love them and I have a heart of forgiveness. Okay, Fox Galaxy. See, like a lot of people left the stream because I brought up melanated females being targeted in the corporate arena. They don't want to hear the truth. But the realistic part of it is, in this land called America, no matter how good of an employee you are, no matter what type of education you have, no matter how well you do your job. And she said that, she was doing very well in her job. When they switched management, for whatever reason, her manager targeted her, tried to get her to move from that facility into another state to make room for somebody else that was coming to that particular branch. And she did not want to leave. Not trying to interrupt, but no, I'm not a therapist. But what I have is life experience because I've been through a lot. And so that's why I share these experiences on my channel, because people need to hear this message if they've ever been through this. So when she started telling me about the harassment, the targeting that she was going through, the antics with HR, I started sharing my own experience with her as well, how I went through the same thing. And at that time, that's when I decided to go back and get my real estate license for the second time, because I was licensed in another state. And I told myself no one would be able to ever hold, you know, a job over me, because I would always have something outside of the corporate arena to fall back on. Thank you. You said I talk like a therapist. So people don't like that when you walk in your power, because I'm going to tell you something. If you ever like pay attention to the people that interview you, if they know that you have anything outside of just working a regular job, like a license, that you hold a license, or if you have your own business or anything, they don't like to hear that, because that means they can't control you and treat you any type of way. And actually it empowers you. So I am just setting, the precedents here, or just giving that as an example to empower you out there. If you're going through anything, please speak out about it and talk about it. It doesn't matter if people don't want to hear about it, because you're valuable and your life experiences matter. You don't know who needed to hear your message, who you needed to share that information with, who might be going through the same thing. By the end of the conversation, I let her know another realtor that used to work at our firm was very successful, melanated woman from New York, and she had a daughter that was doing the same thing that I used to do and went through the same thing that I went through. She was working from home, and lo and behold, when they switched management, the daughter started going through harassment from the manager. And that's something that I had undergone. And I feel like as melanated females, we go through a lot in the corporate arena. We are targeted, we are harassed, and for whatever reason, we don't fit in. They don't really want us in those positions. They will hire the counterparts that don't even have degrees, don't have the experience that we have, for tens of thousands of dollars more. And that has happened to me. That has happened to my mother. That has happened to my father. Um, my friend in Dallas went through it. My friend's mother went through it in Dallas. I can tell you that there was a girl that I worked with at another credit card company. She went through it. So if you ever talk to a lot of melanated females that work in the corporate arena, they don't talk about this. They don't tell you that even though they might have a 401k, they have a job with benefits, health benefits, dental, vision, life, all these things, and a decent pay. They might have the weekends off, but they go through a lot on these jobs where it internally will affect your health, mentally, emotionally, psychologically can impact your health, because the corporate arena was never meant for melanated females. The only reason they allow us in there is because of affirmative action. I went through something way worse from 3 months ago. I believe you did. Chris from Hell's Kitchen, season 18, episode 6 said it's easy to deny, but it's hard to face the music, and that was facts. Yeah. Um, there's also another YouTube video I was watching with these Kenyan twins. I can't remember the name of their channel right now, it escapes me. But they have so many compilations of melanated females on TikTok talking about how they have been targeted, harassed, even fired in the corporate arena for no reason, just because management didn't like them, or someone just had a higher position and wanted to get rid of them, regardless of whatever type of job you do. I've heard of, people meeting their metrics and they still want to put them on a corrective action plan if they make one mistake. They will always try to make you feel like you are basically a liability to the company, and really you're an asset to that company. They put more responsibility on you. They have a higher demand for you to get the work out. I've been through it. I already know. I was meeting demands, I was fulfilling the metrics, I was surpassing goals. And even with all of that being said, it was still always the consensus of, we cannot give you what you're worth. We'll never pay you what you're worth. And that is the hard facts and the truth of corporate America. You said, not me. I try not to get invested in my job too much. Good. And I also learned this. One of my friends told me this: the more you do, because, we've been told to basically work, and do our best that we can. But the more you give of yourself, the more they're going to expect. And it doesn't matter how hard you work, because they'll use you up, chew you up, spit you out like you're nothing. That is what America's like that anyway. The government is like that, and corporate America is like that. I'm not trying to speak out for anyone that has a corporate job. I'm just telling you the antics of what it is. You can look on all these different YouTube channels and you will see that this goes on all across America, y'all. While me and my friend was playing the game, my old homie called Malik phone and he was whispering I was hanging with him instead of fighting him, and he gave his location. I don't know why you're telling me that, what career field you in, if you don't mind. So, Caluminati, I'm a realtor now. And I have a clothing brand that I'm wearing right now. This is my one of my dresses, my beautiful dress called Brown Girls Are Beautiful Clothing, BGAB Clothing. I also hold a notary license, so I can actually sign loan documentations for people that need it. So that's when anyone gets approved for a house and they need to actually go through that 45-minute process, I can actually sign my signature and get paid for it. So that's what I have set up for myself. With real estate, I, find that as a very good career field if you can find the right clientele that can afford housing. So now that we're in, to that sector of it, I do want to say that I just finished showing a house to a young lady. Um, she was a first time home buyer, but I was talking to her mother, and her mother said that she was trying to get a house but she doesn't qualify. And I said, look, don't worry about it, you will. People are in their middle age right now going through it in this economy. So I just want to also say that if you right now are struggling with your credit, because her mother said that she was going through issues with her credit and she's a Hispanic lady, I said, just keep going at it. I don't want people to get discouraged out here, because if you listen to all these YouTube channels, they're just going to make you feel like giving up on life. Don't give up on life, because your walk and your journey is so different from the very next person that's next to you. And what's meant for you is going to be for you, no matter what your credit looks like, no matter what your background looks like. If something is meant for you, it will be for you, and nobody can take that away. You said that's dope. Thank you. I do be sitting in the front of myself. You said you be sitting in the front by yourself a lot, still questioning yourself. So, I mean, questioning yourself, basically, you're just learning about yourself. You're learning about yourself. So, like the title of the video says, you don't have to suffer in silence. Sometimes the world is set to make us question ourselves. Are you good enough? Do you offer enough? Can you do this well enough? And it's always so competitive. From the time that you get into school, we've been trained to feel like you have to be like in competitive mode, and really, we should be in a mode of union and working together, not being competitive, because you can't get anywhere being competitive by yourself all the time in competition mode. That's the thing that we really need to learn as a people. We'll get further when we actually come together and unite and unify and work together as a team. That's something that I've seen, because I also substitute teach as well. I've seen the children when they work in groups, and a lot of the Hispanic children, it's like they're automatically intrinsically taught that to cheer for each other and to work together. And I think that's something that we need to adapt as well as people in our society, and as a culture, is just to help each other out. If you see somebody trying to do something, stop trying to not help them or don't hide information. If you see someone trying to do what you're doing, show them the way. It's been so many times that I've helped other people when they didn't know how to do something. And I don't try to hide the information, because if you're meant to succeed, you will succeed. I'm not worried about if you surpass me. There are people that wanted to start a YouTube channel, didn't know how to go live, and I helped them and they surpassed me. But do I care? I don't care, because I wanted to see them do what they wanted to do. People wanted to start a clothing brand. I showed them how to print the clothing, how to actually do it. People didn't One of the realtors, she went to the open house. This was a few years ago. She didn't know how to even get into the house, how to use the lockbox. I sat back, showed her how to get in the house, showed her what to do for an open house. And then I invited her out to another open house that I was hosting, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help people. We don't have to sit out here and suffer in silence, y'all. If you're going through something, sometimes sharing your story with somebody might encourage them to help you. I'm questioning myself, am I a problem or not? And there were times I wanted to throw in the towel in life, but somehow I'm here. So I created my own realm and I made it real, and I'm not as sad as I was. You're dope as hell. Had to hit the sub button. Columinati, thank you so much. I think you're amazing for recognizing that. And I thank you for your subscription and thank you for the like. And I really appreciate your comment. But yeah, I just think it's so important. And I just want to attract the tribe that's meant for me. I want to attract, not chase, because a lot of times we feel like we got to chase this, chase that, chase this. And really, y'all, we have everything, all the components we need right in front of us, right within us. We are more powerful, more magical than they'll ever give us credit for. That's why they keep us searching outside of ourselves for so many things. They want to sell us the latest gadgets, the latest technology. Now it's the iPhone 17 coming out. How many of y'all are going to get that iPhone 17? I'm not. I'm still on my i13 Pro Max. I still have the iPhone 11 right here. It works perfectly fine. And I still live stream from these phones, and to me, they look perfectly fine because they're still working. Like, we don't have to feel that we need more than what we have. We have what we need, y'all. We have exactly what we need. There are people with far less using what they have and getting further than the people that have all these material items out here. I remember when life was more simpler and we had less and we were happier and more fulfilled. You said you're on your way to the 12? Okay. That's what's up. Y'all, so I just feel like we don't need to suffer in silence, especially my melanated people, especially y'all, especially my melanated ladies, even my melanated males, because I want to say this. I know they tell us like, oh, they talk about melanated males not providing, which is a big topic in like the YouTube community and on social media platforms. And one thing I'm not about is tearing each other down on a social platform. I don't think we should do that, but I do think we need to address the issues that impact us. One thing we need to recognize in this world is that as a whole, melanated females and melanated males have been held back systematically, right? And when I talk about these things, it doesn't get a lot of likes, it doesn't get a lot of attention because people don't like talking about these things. But this is the truth. And I'm going to speak about the truth. We have been systematically disenfranchised financially. And I talked about this. What's good, Thomas? Oh, excuse me, Tomas. How are you? I talked about this. It's called redlining, which is something that was still taking place back in 2015. That was just 10 years ago. So if you think banks are not targeting certain individuals, they are. I just finished watching a video about the FICO system, the Fair Isaac Corporation system, that credit bureau that looks at your credit scores. There are certain people that they target. So when you want to see like a group of people that are being oppressed, y'all, it is a reason why they look the way they do. They're going through the things they're going through. It's because of systematic oppression. And a lot of people like to look at melanated people as being lazy. They don't try. They're not doing this. Oh, no, they're trying. They are going to school. They're getting degrees. They're getting jobs. They're working multiple jobs. They're doing everything they can. But you have a society that is set up to oppress people as a whole, to especially oppress melanated people as a whole. And I just want to encourage you out there, especially my melanated people in in general. Please, 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 if you can, get yourself a house, become a homeowner if you can, and start a business, start something on the side outside of your job. It's okay to have a regular job, but what I am saying, based on my experience, don't depend on that job because at any minute, at any given point, they will get rid of you even if they don't have justification for it. There is a such thing as called right to it's called right to work or the right to, they can get rid of you without any real reason, validity for it. There are certain states that have that implemented into place. If you've never heard of it, look it up. And that goes on. Um, you said you're I'm definitely your mentor and I'm grateful I ran into your channel, but lots of love from Chicago. What's up, Chicago? Yeah, I've been in Chicago only once, and that was when I was traveling for my job. We stopped in Chicago. It's a big major city, and I would love to spend some more time in Chicago, but I know that it gets very cold out there. So this is probably the perfect time to visit Chicago. I have someone that I know that lives about an hour and a half to 2 hours away out in Milwaukee. And the last time I was out there was a couple of years ago. And I would love to go to Chicago and visit and spend some time out there. That is one place that I said I do want to visit. Um, yeah, so I'm hoping that, this message does help someone and that you can relate to it. It's not really a channel about venting and it's not a channel about complaining. It's about being real and talking about the things that a lot of people are scared to talk about. People don't like coming on here and talking about things that really are going on, but I'm going to talk about it because I deal and talk to a lot of different people out here. I see what's going on, and people will gaslight you to make you think that you're the problem or make you think you're not enough or make you think you're doing something wrong. That's not always the case. That's manipulation, y'all. Don't fall for it. You said it do the weather on in January is the worst. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine right now. Like I said, we're sitting in 85-degree weather. So it's really hot out here. People, if I show you around, people all around me, they are dressed in shorts and dresses, and yeah, it's really nice out here today. So, that's just the message that I wanted to send out to y'all. I really appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, the engagement, the positivity, the encouragement. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that I can be a blessing to you all as well as you're a blessing to me. I want this channel to grow into something wonderful. But, as I sit here, I just decided to come on and do the live stream. I'm about to go inside, get what I came to get, and get out of here. I don't know what y'all are going to eat later. I am getting a little hungry. I didn't really do a lot, y'all. I woke up late, but it's all good. I was 13 back in 2019. On January 30th, it was 20 degrees. Oh, I was 13 back in 2019. On January 30th, it was 20. So, all right. So you were 13 and 20. So you want me to do some math. So you're 19 then. Is that what you're saying? So you're very young. Okay. Well, anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Remember to always continue to walk in your divinity, celebrate yourself. And if you don't celebrate yourself, who else will? So you're 20. So you just you had a birthday. Okay, that's what's up. Well, shout out to the 20-year-old. Okay. Make sure you share the video, like the video, and subscribe, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. I'll tune in with y'all later. Thank y'all so much. All right. Have a good one, y'all. Stay blessed. Minus 20 degrees. Oh, that is too much, y'all. All right, all right. I'm signing out, y'all.